How do you slap the rhythm and play finger picking and strumming and perhaps a little bit of arpeggio playing with your pick as well? How do you integrate all these techniques? There's a simple formula for that works incredibly. Like nobody talks about it for some reason. But this is what I'm all about, or that's my passion for learning. Basically, is finding those points, those elements or parts of the equation that you can focus on and then get explosive results. And so, what is it? Well, how do you learn all these things? Well, we talked about the slapping thing, and we talked about the punching the guitar like that, and we talked about picking individual strings and doing this in the 2 previous videos. But how do you integrate the 2 and then add finger picking? Because that's really, it can do stuff that you cannot do with your pick, because I can pick multiple strings at the same time, and you can't do that with a pick. It's one string at a time, right? And so, but here's the key. The key is that you must take one pattern that kind of describes the whole area of picking. And we're going to do that in this video. One picking pattern with the fingers, right? One finger picking pattern. And then you push it all the way to mastery. Or again with the mastery, Claus. Yes! But this is the key here as well. Most people take, they learn one picking pattern, finger picking, then another pattern, then a third pattern, then a fourth pattern, and they take none of them to mastery. And they can have played for like 20, 30 years, and they still haven't pushed it to mastery, because mastery requires intensity. You can practice every pattern a little each day and never get there. It requires you to focus on one pattern and practice it like over and over and over again until you reach mastery, which can be pretty quickly. But you need that kind of intensity and focus on it to bring it all the way. Because once you master just one pattern that is core and combine it with everything else, then you can develop that pattern. Like say we got the... Let's do this, right? That pattern. Once you master it, and you can play it as you're talking or smoking or driving a car, whatever, right? It's that automatic. It's in your body. That level is where you can start modifying it, changing it into other things. So you reach that level, and suddenly you can start adding to it, subtracting from it, and adding new things and changing it. Right? You can start doing new things with it. And suddenly, from that one little tiny point of mastery, you can explode in skills. But without mastery, you will always be one at a time learning that. Oh, this finger picking pattern? Like something, whatever, right? And you say, no, what is that now? And you can learn hundreds of patterns. But once you take just one to mastery, to the level of mastery, which we rarely do, out of our need to look into something new all the time, we won't get to the point where we can really just... So this is the fastest way, right? It is, even though it seems slower in the beginning because you have to focus that much on one pattern. Then once you're there, it's just amazing what you can do. So let's learn this one pattern that integrates everything. Strumming, slapping, everything. And then from there, you can really focus on it and say, okay, for the next couple of weeks, all I'm going to do, almost 80% of my time, just goes into doing the same thing over and over again. So the brain really gets it, right? Instead of it saying, okay, he plays this for 2 minutes a day or 5 minutes, so how important can it be? Then suddenly that's the only thing you play almost for several weeks in a row. That's what brings anything to mastery, because the brain wakes up and says, okay, let's automate this thing. It takes up too many resources to keep playing it in the short-term memory and having to focus on it, and have to use effort producing that pattern. So, because you're doing it so much, that's too expensive. So let's put it in the automated part of the brain, the long-term memory, the long-term muscle memory. Let's make it automatic so we use almost zero resources when we have to play it. That's the logic of the brain. Until you do that, until you have focus on mastery like that, and you have focus on one thing during an extended period of time, the brain is constantly just going to say, well, if we do it 2 to 3, 5, 30 minutes a day, then who gives a hoot? We can totally have, use effort to make it happen. But the brushing your teeth and the walking and the running and the driving a car, all that is mastery level. That's automatic because you've been driving a car so much, or a bicycle, or whatever it is. Right? So you need to take something like this all the way, and then you can expand it. But you can only expand it if you master it. That's just how it is. Because then it's so easy for you. So you just add a little thing there, you just take a little away, and suddenly you develop like crazy. Please get me on this. So, really quickly, what we do here, it's basically, let's just do an A minor chord here. So I'm picking, I'm down picking with my pick on the A string, and then I'm plucking all 3 strings, the D, G, and B string, and then I'm slapping. So I basically go, oh, yeah. And then I'm slapping the body, right? And muting the strings in the same. And as I'm doing that, I'm placing my pick again on the low, there's only one A string, on the A string, right? So I have to grab the strings, right? I have to punch and grab, right? Right? Okay, so once I've done that, then the next thing that goes on is I'm picking the A string downwards and I'm plucking at the same time. So, like this, right? So I go. And then I do an upstroke on the 2, 3 top strings. So I go. That's the first thing, right? And then pluck. And then an upstroke on the top strings. So, and if you do, it's too much, I'm overwhelmed already. Stop the video. Just focus on the first part. You have to become good at this, guiding yourself through something like this. Just focus on the first part. Okay. Play that 100 times. 1, 2, 3. Then it's, you got it in you. So now you're not overwhelmed when you do the next part, right? So, pluck. And upstroke, so we go. And once I'm over that, I actually strum a little bit. I go, so upstroke and then, but I don't go. It's just a, and then I'm right back to the start again. And of course, you have to practice getting back to the strings like that. And as we talked about last time, you can then add a punch to one of these strokes. So you go, right? And then an upstroke. So you go. Right? Right? So, I hope you got it now. It's just... Right? And it seems really hard in the beginning. Just keep looping it, and then take it to the final level where it's so easy you don't even think about it. And then what happens there is because you're using techniques like, it's really easy to go, right? Or, just, right? Or just go into more strumming, right? I'm just strumming now. Whoa, what was that? Oh, just lost the pad on my stand here. So, same rhythm, right? Only with strumming. and punching. Let's see if I can get it up. I lost the other pad too. What happens here? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm sliding out of the hole. Maybe I should get a new stand actually, because this is kind of worn out. Like that. All right, I'm just strumming now. And then I can go from strumming to strumming. Right now I have freedom to go from one to the other because I'm transitioning between these different techniques in one strumming, plucking, punching pattern, right? I got it in there, and so I can venture out into... and all. Right? And so learn this to the point of mastery and then start expanding on it and use your arpeggio techniques as well. So you go. So instead of strumming, you actually use your... so you go. Right? It's just amazing what happens when you take something like that involves all techniques, and then, you know, three at least, right? 3 or 4, and then take it to mastery and then expand it. You have my warmest recommendations to doing that, because it absolutely is the path out of the blur of mediocrity, of intermediateness. You just carve a path out that is mastery, and then from there you can take the whole country, right? So have fun practicing, and I hope you'll go check out our new course on strumming, which will teach you how to play all strumming patterns in the entire world. So go check that out and download our free products and subscribe to this channel, and remember to place a comment right underneath here. Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.